Maryland Terrapins are in town to take on the 3-0 and number 5 in the country, Syracuse Orange. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Cotter. He's Paul Carcaterra. We're fired up. This crowd behind us is juiced. They're ready for a big game today. Here's the question everybody wonders. Syracuse, they've been making strides under third-year coach Gary Gait. Are they back now?
Central New York thinks they're back. A lot of the lacrosse world thinks they're back. But in their way tonight, Cotter, is the Maryland Terrapins. And they've been the standard in college lacrosse the last decade behind John Tillman. Won more games than any program. I think the pressure is on Syracuse. They need to stamp a win in year 3 with Gary Gait because the rest of the lacrosse world wants that type of play.
Well, speaking of the standard at Syracuse, the standard is number 22. And wearing the fade number 22 this year is sophomore Joey Spallina.
Former #1 recruit nationally. His anticipation as a passer has been elite. Gets the ball to teammates before they get to their spots. He's been dealing with over 5 assists per game. This guy's got X-ray vision, Cotter, and Syracuse's number 22 goes against Maryland's number 1. The 2 storied numbers in college lacrosse, head-to-head. Ajax Zapatello is an eraser of a defender, a technician who rarely is out of position. He's a top 3 defender nationally, and guess who's back? Logan McNaney. Missed last season with a torn ACL. He was the tournament MVP when the Terps won the national championship. In the first few weeks of the season, he's been unconscious.
Also back for Syracuse in net is Will Mark. Now a graduate student, the young man out of California, brings a ton of experience and a backstop for them on the defensive end. The issue hasn't been scoring with them in the first couple of years with Gary Gait. It's been faceoffs and defense, and they've shored that up in the offseason.
Absolutely, and Will Mark's best friend early in the season has been Mason Cone because he's winning faceoffs and he's allowing this young defense to kind of mature and come along.
2 teams meeting at midfield. There's Gary Gait, the silver-haired, slick-back Gary Gait. In his 3rd season as the head coach, of course, he was coaching the women's team 14 years here at the Cuse and is widely regarded as the Michael Jordan, the Tom Brady of lacrosse, the greatest of all time. And John Tillman, what can you say about the job he's done with the Terps? 2 national championships in the last 6 seasons. He's been phenomenal.
When you give him time to prepare, he's like no other. His dedication to the team, the way he's built this program, culturally, on the field, no stone ever unturned with Tillman.
We mentioned face-offs for Syracuse. Mason Cone, the transfer from Tufts, going against the veteran Luke Weirman, and Weirman gets the better of him initially and gets possession, but Syracuse will take it on the turnover. And Clark, this crowd, lower bowl completely full in front of us and on the far side. They've been waiting for this one for a while. Now it's here.
I think it's the most anticipated February at Syracuse since 2015, when they were #1 in the nation, part of that season, lost in the quarterfinals to Johns Hopkins. That team could have gone all the way to win a national title.
Joey Spallina, we mentioned him in the open, 22 in white. The offense goes through him, but there are a lot of pieces for Cuse, including that man right there, Michael Leo, takes the shot, and it's turned away by Maryland's goaltender McNaney. Still possession with Cuse. There's English, the transfer from Princeton, 15. We'll mention those 2 Canadians, English and Stevens, a lot. Shot goes high in the air, stays with Syracuse. Here's another transfer in Christian Moulet. They're loaded. They're all over the field, these transfers for both of these teams. Got his defender hung up. Hiltz in front. Shot by Spallina. Turned away by McNaney. 2 big saves for him early.
Turn on the tape. Against Richmond, against Loyola. Logan McNaney is on a revenge tour. A lot of the lacrosse world forgot about how good this kid is.
Now a chance to see Maryland on the offensive end after the clear. And an early flag. It's going to be a delayed call against Syracuse. Syracuse was offsides. They'll keep the extra player on until we get the whistle blown. Here's Spanos. Now there comes the whistle. We'll get the offsides call against the Orange.
Foul's on white 15. White 15 is offside. After the second technical. Reset it to 60.
Our officials today, the Luxinger brothers, Brian and Tim, and Daniel Beck calling the game.
Maryland 2 for 5 thus far on the season. They got some shooters. Watch 45 in black. Daniel Kelly can really stretch a defense with a left-handed laser. And Danny Maltz, 37 in black, inside, is a fantastic crease finisher.
Just saw Maltz with the ball in his cross on the wing. Reversing it on the far side, inside Maltz, opts not to take the shot. Here's Kelly. Quick ball movement by the Terps. Up top, couldn't get the shot off. Urksa had a mind to do it. Lost it on the transition. Maryland fighting forward in the middle of the field along with Syracuse, and the Orange come out of there with it.
It's interesting. Syracuse will actually put a fresh 5 guys in when they play man down. It's a complete overhaul of the defensive unit. 5 fresh guys whose job is to play man down defense. And I like it, Cotter, from the perspective that it keeps way more guys engaged, right? Your practices are more intense. These guys know their spots, and their number can be called.
Spallina to the middle of the field, tries to get a step on Zappitello, can't do it, but gets it to the far side. Shot, score, Orange! Luke Roa finds the back of the net. Syracuse on top early.
Sophomore Roa, sophomore Spallina. He feels the pressure. I don't think Maryland needed to slide there, Cotter. I thought Zappitello was playing fine defense. He wasn't beat. Spallina will pick you apart if you slide too early. And Luke Roa, who is a righty, is about as two-handed as any player in college lacrosse. Look at him sling that lefty offside on Logan McNaney. But if you're Maryland, you have to trust that matchup with Zappitello. He's going to be on an island with Spallina. He's your best defender. Live and die by him.
Roa's 5th of the year. And the Orange have gotten off to a dream start in front of this crowd here inside the Dome. Cohen and Weirman, we expect this to be a great battle all afternoon long. Alexo gets possession quickly in front. Hiltz had a notion, decided to pull it out. Syracuse will sub out. Finn Thompson will come in alongside Michael Leo. Finn Thompson, part of this strong Canadian contingent that Gary Gait is assembling with the Orange, including, as we mentioned, the 2 transfers from Syracuse. Leo, ball in his cross, now behind the cage to Moulet. Moulet uses the pick. Leo on the shorty, trying to get free. Does get in front of the net. Shot is high. We'll get a push in the back. Maybe a crease violation. That's what it is, a crease violation. Turnover.
Maryland thus far is playing the pick game well against Syracuse. Syracuse likes to dodge with a Spallina on the right, with a Moulet on the left, and send a pick around goal line extended. What you have to watch, though, is they are pass ready right out of that pick. A lot of Dodgers use picks to become scorers. They do it to become passers.
Great opportunity for Maryland. Bounce pass to the far side. Now back up top to Spanos. He'll wait for the cavalry to check in. Here's Ryan Syracuse. Syracuse, a little 2-man game. Tried to get it back to Chorus. And Molliver gives chase and keeps possession with the Terps. Spanos. Double team comes. Someone's going to be open on the far side. That's who it is. Shot! Mark goes down and makes the save. So both goaltenders making fantastic saves early.
You ready for a goalie battle?
We're getting it here early.
This is high end. 2 future professional goalies in Logan McNaney, Will Mark. Battle tested. Can handle a high volume of rubber.
Stevens has a wide open lane to the net. Steady opts to pass it off. And Roa couldn't handle it. Physical battle for the ball in the middle of the field, won by Maryland. Back to McNaney. Now the Terps will look to clear with Zapp on the near side. Gets it to the long pole in McDonald. See 2 LSMs today, primarily from Maryland. Jack McDonald, Nick Alviti. One of the transfers from Vermont. 3 transfers from Vermont, paying dividends on the defensive end for the Terps. Flags come all over the place, but it's Urksa who buries it, tying things up at 1 apiece.
The question here, Cotter, does he land in the goal mouth or does he get pushed in the goal mouth? Great usage of the pick. There's some backside pressure there by Riley Figueres. That is a speed dodge by Urksa.
Officials are talking this one over as we await word.
See the half circle inside the crease, the goal mouth. You cannot land in there on your own. You can land in there if there's defensive pressure.
No, relax, let me call it, get out of the box. Hey, we have a good goal. We have 35, illegal body check, 1 minute.
That was Big Billy Dwan after the facts, right at the top. And this is what Gary Gait is arguing.
So Urksa lands in the goal mouth, but he lands as a result of the late body check by Dwan. That's a good call. Dwan is making his presence felt. And that's one of those fouls you don't love, having to be man down if you're Syracuse, but you're establishing a physical presence if you're Billy Dwan.
Now we're going to get a challenge here early, Clark, because Coach Gait, he's thinking that was a legal hit. I mean, I'm guessing that's what he's saying, but throwing the flag means he's not challenging the hit. He's challenging either a crease violation or the goal mouth violation, because the hit isn't reviewable as to whether that's a penalty or not. And maybe that's being explained to him right now.
Urksa gets by Figueres off the pick.
Well, not in the crease, so that's not going to be an issue. We know he lands in the goal mouth. The question is, he was pushed in the goal mouth by Dwan. So I'm not sure what they're reviewing. Those are facts. He would not have landed in the goal mouth if Dwan didn't hit him. Now, they called Dwan's hit illegal. That's not, you can't review whether a hit is legal or not.
At first, I thought maybe Urksa landed in the crease prior to the goal.
No.
That's not the case. He lands in the goal mouth, but as a result of the illegal body check.
Orange fans is now time for a draw.
No, he never stepped in at all. I'll come to you in a minute. After review, ruling on field stands, it is a good goal. White is charged 1 timeout.
So the review ends up being a good goal. Gary Gait loses the review, so he'll be charged a timeout. So he was thinking that Urksa stepped, it was in the goal mouth on his own accord.
Prior to the illegal body check.
It was reviewed. Yeah, if for those of you who, these first couple of weeks of the season, we're using review now in college lacrosse. And essentially understand this, anything that's goal-oriented in terms of timing on the clock, was his foot in the crease, was he in the goal mouth, all of that can be reviewed. And that's kind of what we've seen in the first couple of weeks, Paul. A lot of goal-related plays can be reviewed. High hits to the head can be reviewed as well, and some others.
And coaches are going to use those challenge flags more in the first half, because you burn a timeout in the first half, it's not the end of the world. I don't love review in the regular season. I want lacrosse to get things right in terms of calling it properly, and you don't want to see teams losing games because of calls that shouldn't stand, but it slows the game down and it puts teams in a position, I think, in terms of when are you going to use these challenge flags, because some games they're being used. They have to come from the home team. Do they have the right equipment?
Yeah.
There's a lot of variables that I don't think we're there yet.
Got to sort a lot out.
Yeah, there's so much to sort out. So I would have liked to have seen us go through more of a of a crawl, walk, run type exercise with this. Have it just in conference championships across the board and in the NCAA tournament, because you never want to see a season end with a wrong call. We're not ready for it in the regular season because not everyone has the technology. Not everyone's on the same page.
We've got it. And as you saw on that list as well, final 4 minutes of the game or in overtime, coaches cannot throw the challenge flag. All of those will be reviewed at the official's discretion. At any rate, it's a good goal from Urksa. And Syracuse is going to get a chance here. Goal, man down! Right off the face-off.
Mason Cone has been an equalizer for Syracuse after 3 games. What was a weakness a year ago at the faceoff X has been a strength with the Tufts transfer. An incredible athlete, Cotter. Was a Division I hockey recruit. Was going to attend Army West Point and played Division I hockey. Goes to Tufts, he plays 2 sports. He's well over 70% after 3 games. And they have been riding this guy, and the offense gets to feast as a result of Mason Cone.
Transferred in from Tufts, immediately voted as a team captain. Shows you what kind of a player he is and a leader he is. Going to go out to UCLA Law School, but putting that off for a year. Hoping to do some big things here with the Syracuse Orange, and he gives him a lead. And he's going to walk off, too, after we get the first whistle, because he got a delayed call against him here on a slash or a hold.
They will use 2 face-off specialists, Mason Cone and Johnny Mullen, who just took that one actually after Cone was gassed after he went to the goal and scored.
36, push, 30 seconds. White 36, push, 30.
Yeah, Mullen's going to sit for 30 seconds. There's John Mullen, the freshman.
So here's the fresh 5. There is not one starter right now playing defense on the man-down unit for Syracuse. 5 new players. It's their job to play man-down defense. And I love the concept, but what happens if Maryland goes beyond the penalty and now you have your top offensive player not against your top D guy?
Urksa from up top. Oliver decided not to fire it. Urksa will let it go. No, a nice pass inside, and Maryland buries it. Looked like Urksa was going to shoot it, pulled the string a little bit, found Chorus right on the doorstep.
We're seeing the maturation of Braden Urksa. He scores that first goal on a speed dodge. This time in the extra man, he's on the opposite side of the offensive set. He looks like a shooter. He fools that Syracuse man-down defense thinking press. All eyes on Urksa. As the shooter, he becomes the passer. Chorus delivers. And now it's all about the defender. Ajax Zapatello has been the Terminator, an absolute eraser against Spallina, who's delivered with a huge spotlight on him since he's been in 8th grade. Everyone knew about that kid in terms of his offensive prowess.
Violation going to go against Mason Cone, so Wehrman will put it in play, and he's a threat to score, 52 in black. He'll stay on the field for a moment. Now he's thinking about it. Now he's going to check out, and they'll bring in Zach Whittier for more offensive power.
Wehrman dominated this matchup a year ago in College Park, and Maryland was able to completely control tempo. Coming off a first-team All-American season when they won a national title in 2022.
Whittier up top. Now Brennan behind the cage. Good pass. Tough angle shot and a score! Daniel Maltz, you mentioned him inside earlier. What a beautiful shot coming back from X.
There's 2 things about Maltz you have to worry about. His inside game, scoring as a crease finisher. But he does a fantastic job, and I've seen him score dozens of goals when he has a short stick on him. He gets behind at X, and then he floats, and he uses that offensive awareness to see the space upfield He lulls the defender to sleep. A lot of times teams will short stick Maltz, and that's how he makes them pay. He floats from X above goal line extend. He's so deadly as a low angle shooter.
Maryland back on top 3-2. Wehrman wins it to himself. Thought Moliver might take a step toward the middle of the field and fire. Instead, he'll back it out.
I think Daniel Maltz is one of the most underrated players out there. 50 goal scorer in 2021, lost his starting job in 2022 when they won the national title. When you short stick him, he makes you pay.
Now Spanos inverted. Urksa back up top. Spanos looking to dodge from the wing. Moliver missed all of last year, number 4 in black with an injury, still working his way back. And he'll be scary when he's 100%. Shot clock still at 20 seconds. Great chance and a score by Maryland. Ball movement, as we would have expected from the start, Paul, has been fantastic. And Syracuse scoring his first of the day.
We just showed the great Terp legends wearing the number 1. I'm not sure this team has one yet. Braden Urksa could be one day. But this team has depth, and they move the ball late in the shot clock, wearing down the Syracuse defense. And the awareness of Syracuse as a guy that's kind of waited his time. He's from the Atlanta, Georgia area where you call home.
Bunch of kids like that on this Maryland team. Syracuse, Moliver, Urksa.
The patience pays dividends. Scout team player early in his career. He's a very two-handed player too, 38 in black.
Cone wins this draw. This has been roughly even. Wehrman and Cone. Cone with a nice move to get free.
You know what I like about this matchup too? Both athletes. These guys can run. They're strong as oxes. It's going to be a battle. I'm not sure the wings are going to be heavily involved in this game. Watching these face-offs right now, it looks like the winners winning it to themselves because there's some high-end wing play in this game. But as of right now, it's been about the guys at the X.
Spallina gets it back. Working on Zappatello, 2 All-Americans. Zapp falls down. Spallina had a little bit of an opportunity and a short stick. Now Moulet comes upfield, shoots. Wide.
He got hit late.
And that flag comes out.
I think it's Schaller. 27 in black.
And you'll feel it if you get hit by Schaller.
We were at the walkthrough. This kid was a hockey player in high school. I'll let him give us the call here.
7, cross check, direct contact to the head, 2 minutes full time.
Wow, now that's a big penalty. 2 minutes full time.
Yep, the referee, depending on how egregious it is, has the flexibility to move it from a 1 to a 2. And that's what they did.
Wow, that's...
Yeah, that's one Schaller's going to watch on tape and be very upset that he hit him late. Yeah, we're at walkthrough. The size of Schaller, the force. I mean, this guy's legs are like Saquon Barkley's.
Yeah, he's got trunks for legs. He definitely is a gym rat. But Coach, talking to Tills, he said sometimes he gets so physical.
Yeah.
He gets penalties called against him because he isn't even aware of it.
That's one. You don't want to go man down against this unit.
7 for 17 on the year. Deadly. Thompson. McDaney sees it. We go the other way with McDonald. Terps look to attack short-handed. And now Moliver will just pull it out. Now the Terps are going to get a call.
That's a big one. You were sitting on a 2-minute. You played catch with Logan McDaney. That was too easy. And now Syracuse fouls. So I expect Maryland to take a big chunk of that penalty out of the mix.
And this is exactly what Tills tells his team As you see Jack Brennan just hanging on. Now Leo's going to come out to challenge him, an offensive player on the defensive end for Syracuse.
It's 41 seconds right now in the shot clock. They are going to bleed this down to about 10. There is zero reason when you're sitting on a man down on the other side to use clock. And we're going to flip the script. If they can kill this clock in terms of the man down, they're actually going to be extra after that kind of crossover in time.
Clearly the plan from Maryland. And now Brennan is just hanging on to it. Dwan switched on him, so at least for Syracuse's sake, now they've got a pull on Brennan. But he just wants to play keep away.
I don't know why they didn't go to the goal. They had a free play there. Why wouldn't you go to the goal at 10 seconds? You had a free play here if you were Maryland. Attack around 10 by the time you shoot, maybe 5.
So I got to put Jay back over. Riley's got to get down to the middle.
That's on White 7 interference, 30 seconds. White number 7 interference, 30. Reset to 60.
So let's take a look at Michael Leo on the call.
Yeah, he pushed him from the back. Maybe their legs got caught up. Maryland and Syracuse are even. I think there's still time left if you count up the numbers. Should be 5-on-5 here.
For 17 seconds.
Yes.
5-on-5 for 17 seconds.
And then you're extra for 13.
And again, Molliver is just going to want to hang on to it here until they're man up. And then make that one charge to the goal, to your point earlier. Boy, they may opt to just keep possession.
Yeah, Kelly's coming on. Now they're going to be 6-on-5. They can run a play here. They're extra.
Here's Kelly coming out of the box.
On 30, on 30.
Shot misses from high. That was Murphy, let it fly.
Disaster sequence by Syracuse. Finn Thompson staring down McNaney. Throws it in his stick, and then Leo gets the penalty. Best case scenario for Maryland.
All even strength here, so that 2-minute non-releasable call doesn't come back to bite Murphy. And Maryland, he buries it. Well, if at first you don't succeed, that first shot went high. That one didn't.
And they keep the possession from that power play man-up opportunity. Murphy with a sweet roll. You know what I love about this roll? First of all, there's no contact here by Vinny Trujillo. You got to get up in the body. Murphy plants that right foot and in one motion kind of catapults and lets it go. If you're a defensive midfielder there, you have to be up in the body against a shooter like Murphy. We've seen him absolutely sling it.
The lead and the momentum now squarely on the shoulders of the Maryland Terrapins. It's 5-2 late in the going here in the first quarter. Cohen and Weirman still battling. Cohen's going to pick it up. Possession to Syracuse. Look at the ride by the Terps. Stevens will settle things down. Get it to Roa. Here comes Burt Whistle. He's got room to run if they can get it to him, and they do. Stevens, man, take a shot. McNaney was on it. I thought he could have shot earlier.
Logan McNaney makes every save look so easy because he's so patient. There's no jumpiness to his game. He sits on a shot and then reacts. A lot of goalies have antsy feet. They're jumpy. McNaney is so poised and believes in his craft and his scout. Unbelievable body language, too.
Stamos almost lost it on the far side, was able to get possession back, though. Here's Brennan. Syracuse has a goal, lost his footing. Ball moving to the far side. With a skip pass, trying to get it to Syracuse, it goes wanting. Here comes Carter Rice from that rope unit. Hits Leo coming out of the box.
Hughes should hold for this last scoring opportunity.
English gets his hands free though, shoots wide, stays with Syracuse.
Nice speed dodge by the Princeton grad and transfer, Sammy English, 15 in white.
Lay loses it. McDonald picks it up. Still plenty of time for Maryland. Urksa over to Zapp, thought he might let it fire. Instead, he loses it. Now Syracuse loses a stick. Molliver gives chase, but he's going to run out of time. Horn sounds to end what was a very entertaining and eventful first quarter.
The man in the arena after one's been Logan McNaney. The talk has been the Syracuse offense, while McNaney and this Maryland defense have something to say, Cotter.
Back and forth we went early. Maryland took the lead and momentum towards the end of that first quarter, 5-2 after one. In applied economics.
You'd be okay with that as a Georgia Tech guy, not me.
I don't know if I could get that degree. It'd take me 5 or 6 years of trying. Ball still loose. Possession to Maryland.
You know, on the flip side, too, Will Mark only has the one save. So Maryland has been able to solve Mark, who down at Chapel Hill, or College Park a year ago, he was amazing in that game.
Daniel Kelly running out of the box. You'll see 45 play some attack, play some midfield. Keep an eye on Molliver's minutes as he continues to get closer and closer to 100%. Coming back from the knee injury he suffered in the fall of 2022. Maltz. Urksa. Thought about a little two-man game. Instead it comes back up top. There's Murphy on the far side. 15 to shoot. Maltz working on the shorty. Alexo had an eye on him. Urksa trying to get to the net. Can't pass. Broken up.
This is a big possession for Syracuse. I feel like Maryland, since 5 minutes into that first quarter, Cotter, they completely controlled the tempo of this game. This Syracuse offense, which has been lights out in 2023 when they were all young and made up of a ton of freshmen, 3 games in, they are going to frustrate this unit if the tempo and the ability to control on that other end continues.
Spolina trying to use the Thompson pick. Rolls back to his right. McNaney sees it all the way.
If you see Joey Spolina make that move, a lot of times he comes up left side goal line extended and he goes behind the back. He increases his angle, and a lot of times that would be low and away on a lefty goalie. That time he just shot right to the stick of Logan McNaney.
Lay with a nice job causing that turnover on his ride back to Syracuse. Maryland's done a nice job taking the air out of this building, Cart.
They have.
Can Hughes get it back? Thompson inside. Hiltz. English. Tough angle. We haven't seen the ball movement like we saw in the first couple of weeks, first 3 games for Syracuse.
Well, this is a different defense, and it's a different goalie. And they have a cover guy in Ajax Zapatello, who's going against Spolina right now. They're trying to send a lot of picks his way. You see the fundamental play, too. He knows when to body Spolina He knows when to play him in space. When you watch Zappatello on tape, fundamentally, he's almost flawless.
Leo loses it. Now he gets it back. Still 20 to shoot. Hiltz, maybe for the first time today, got open, but the pass looked like Moulet wasn't looking for it. See, that's my point. A lot of the slick plays that have worked for him over the last 3 weeks just aren't going their way today.
Yeah, they're not in sync. That's one where Hiltz, I thought, could have shot. And I think maybe Moulet thought he was going to be a shooter. Great ride by Joey Spallina.
Yeah, McNaney's in trouble here. He's out of the net. Spallina's going to let it fly. Instead, he gets it back. Finn Thompson scores.
Oh, hit the back of the net.
Oh, it hit the back of the net. Well, the crowd thought it was too, so I don't feel so bad.
Finn came into this game 2 for 13 shooting. He's one of the more talented young players in the country. Now he's 0 for 2. As a shooter, it is critical to get that first goal after the slump, because then you start thinking too much. And I think 23 in white, skill-wise, I mean, he's a guy that will play in the PLL. He'll play in the Pro Indoor League for a decade. He's that skilled. He has to find his shooting groove.
John Tillman calls a timeout. Maryland up 5-2. th meeting between these two teams. Syracuse, they've dropped the last 5 of them, including the last 2 in a row.
And 2022 Tewaaraton winner, national champ, Logan Wisnauskas was feeling it in the Dome. Another lefty the following year, his replacement, Daniel Kelly, had 4 of his own. Down in College Park, a little twister action. The Qs played him tough, but Maryland too deep, too great at the face-off with Luke Wehrman, and too much John Tillman game planning.
Till's in his 14th season, now directing stars and future stars like Braden Erksa. You know, one thing in talking to Tills yesterday in the shoot-around, he gives a lot of responsibility to his captains and his seniors.
Oh, yeah.
They ran the whole walkthrough yesterday. He just sat there and talked with us. He asked them, you guys ready? You done?
Yeah.
Oh, they're done. Okay. If you say they're done, then they're done.
It's a culture. You know, when he got there, he had guys like Michael Earhart, right? And then you have Rambo and Heacock. And then Logan Wisnauskas and the Jared Bernhardts of the world. They learn from the prior leaders, how it's done.
Erksa got free. There's Mark. Okay.
And I'll say this, speed-wise, there's no one who can match feet with 10 in black right now. He's flying in the Dome.
Speaking of flying, Carter Rice. Stevens now. As Rice and Dwan check out. Rosa and Burt whistle. Roa, I should say, not Rosa. Here's Hiltz. Will he shoot this time? See, one-handed, had to go to the backhand, it didn't work. Nice catch.
I feel like Hiltz comes off that pick and he probably could shoot it right away. And then he waits another beat or two to become the passer.
Now Murphy, goal line extended. Here's Brennan coming in. Whittier behind the cage. Oliver.
Whittier behind the cage. I've seen a lot of inverting from 13 in black with the Terps. He's behind the cage right now as a midfielder, taking the defender out of his element up top.
Kelly on the shorty here. Nice catch by Whittier. Good ball movement by Maryland. Erksa doesn't have an angle. Tried to feed it to Oliver, just couldn't connect.
You'll see a lot of different pieces to the puzzle with John Tillman and his offense. Coach Phipps, interchangeable parts. They want 6 offensive players to be all interchangeable. Midfielders go behind. Attackmen play the high wings, which we've seen with Braden Erksa.
Syracuse just gets it cleared in time. Got to clear it by the 60-second mark on the shot clock.
I would venture to say the next time Owen Hiltz comes off a pick, he's going to shoot.
He's had a couple of opportunities and hasn't pulled the trigger. Leo.
Maryland's short stick D middies have answered the bell. That was the question mark. The rest of the team, I think there's a lot of depth. These shorties have played the Syracuse midfielders well.
Yeah, they've had some injuries there on that rope unit. Hiltz loses it. Oh, just gets it. Not sure whether he meant to do that or not, but it's to Leo. Here's Leo now working on the shorty. Shoots high.
You'll watch, Syracuse likes to dodge with their midfielders on a 45-degree angle between 2 and 3 o'clock, because then it allows Spallina to be behind the cage in some hung positions, and Ajax, wow,
kicks it to himself, now trying to pick up the loose ball in the corner. Does it. The cause turnover, and that's a hell of a ground ball.
Ajax Zapatello played with Brett Makar, first-team All-American, two-time Big Ten Defender of the Year, but a lot of the time Zapatello got the one matchup depending on who it was. He's played Connor Schellenberger from Virginia the last 2 years.
McDonald in a little bit of trouble here. Gets out of it. Now to Nick Red, defensive midi. He'll get it in the stick of Eric Spanos. Still 5-2. We had a flurry of action early in this game, and these two teams have settled in a little bit. This game was 2-2 before you could blink an eye. Syracuse hadn't scored in a long time. Spanos working on Rice, now behind the cage. Oliver trying to use a pick, back up on top. Here's Murphy near side. Spanos tried to swim. Rice wanted nothing to do with it. Only 3 to shoot. Gonna have to let it fly. They won't do it. Shot clock violation. Here comes Cuse. And they've got Ertz hung up on the defensive end.
Here's the matchup. Knowing Joey Spallina too and how competitive he is, he's going to continue to attack Ajax Zapatello. 22 against 1.
Syracuse hasn't scored in 18 minutes of game time. Roa got free, bounces it wide. Stevens gives chase, it'll stay with the Orange. Using a Burt Whistle pick. Late just gets crunched.
They're timing their slides, their support defense, the way that they're getting through their picks. This defense has been dialed.
McNady's been dialed. Denies Roa. 6 saves now for McNady.
Defensive coordinator Jesse Bernhardt has developed a reputation in terms of the way that he scouts and the way that he holds his team accountable. His boys are buzzing on that side of the field.
Whittier is going to check in. Here's Erkson. He's got Figueres hung up. Still plenty of time to shoot. Whittier up top. Maltz. Had the matchup he liked, but pass too high for Murphy.
If you're Syracuse here, this possession, where does the offense come from? First 3 games has been Joey Spallina, averaging almost 9 points a game. Right now, he's got the 1 assist only against Ajax Zapatello. You have some veterans, those grad transfers from Princeton and Sammy English and Jake Stevens. who have big game ability.
Middle of the field. Turnover. Syracuse is going to come up with it.
Got just the one timeout because Coach Gate used the one for the challenge.
Now on 20 minutes without a goal. Leo down the alley. Forced wide. That's going to be a flag. And he scores! And a hit to the head to boot.
That was smoke. The second it came off of Leo's stick. This shot was unstoppable. McNaney has been incredible, but you see the release too. Watch the end part of this release. It's cradle, 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 and then in that motion of that last cradle, looks like he's going to take another step upfield, and then the deception in the answer with Michael Leo. What a shot.
And they'll face it off with Syracuse man up. Full-time, 1 minute call against Maryland with that hit to the head.
Not all face-offs are created equal. This would be one. And you have a guy like Luke Weirman who's so battle-tested. It looks like there might be a timeout here. This next face-off is massive. So the hit was before the goal, so there's still a face-off. Wasn't a dead ball foul. Looks like Maryland calls a timeout.
This is under official review here, Cart. They're reviewing how serious of a penalty this is. The officials can do that on a hit to the head.
Yes, that was 1 minute, unreleasable, full-time served. They can review this and turn this into a 2 minute. We saw it earlier, too.
Yeah. Or they could even reduce it if they want. Any hit to the head, the officials have the ability to look at review and to get a clearer look at how serious of a penalty that is.
I don't see any shot they make this less than 1 minute full-time serve. I think the question here is to go to 2.
Right. Josh Kaufman is the guilty party. And on a side note, it's good to see 28 in black back out there, coming back from a knee injury himself.
They're going to change this from 1 to 2. Kaufman getting back, as you mentioned, a 6th-year senior, 2 ACL.
Well, it's going to be good. After review, it's overturned. Fouls on black, 2-8. We have direct contact to the head. 2 minutes, full time.
That's big right now. And you are right. This face-off is huge.
Massive.
Maryland wins the face-off. They can all but run 80 seconds of that 2 minutes.
We saw the last time there was a 2 minute penalty, right? Syracuse did not cash in. McNaney made the stop. But Maryland ended up scoring on the next possession.
If Cone is sharp here and extra sharp in the next 2 minutes, it could be a make-it-take-it scenario. I mean, that's how important these next 2 minutes are for the face-off, Doc.
Exactly, because it's full-time served.
Two graduate students, veterans. Mason Cone plied his wares at Tufts before transferring in the offseason. Luke Weirman, been doing it for years for Testudo.
Cone
Syracuse.
got it.
Yep. McDonald got possession. Check that, Matt Wright.
Gary Gate did not have to burn a timeout there. He still has one in his pocket. And this is a unit that led the nation in extra man goals a season ago. Burt Whistle, 9 and white, was the top scoring player in power plays nationally. Number 2 was 22, Joey Spallina.
Burt Whistle had 11 last year. Spallina had 10. Now Hiltz to Leo. Scored moments ago. Thompson up top. That's 40 in white. It's going to be a Kellogg specialist, and Syracuse scores.
Cohn's packing it in, daring for someone to shoot from the outside. How about the versatility of Seven White? The shot prior that he scored was a three-quarter release that stung the top shelf. This time, McNaney thinks he might be going high to that same spot. Where does he shoot, Cotter? Low.
Because it's full time once again. Huge face-off. Syracuse got one of them back. And now Tills wants to call his second and final timeout in this half. Still a man up for a minute and 4 seconds.
For me, that face-off was so big for Mason Cohn in many ways. He's been well over 70% on the season, but he played some teams in competition that are in no way, shape, or form in the same league as Luke Weirman. That face-off showed me the guts, showed me his competitiveness and the way that he's able to lock in against who was the nation's top face-off specialist 2 years ago. Mason Cohn, Torrey Pines High School, played for Jono Zissi. And I spoke to Jono in the offseason. He said, believe the hype on this guy. He will make the jump from Division III to Division I. And Gary Gait knows he's a Division I athlete. And there's so many great players in Division III that just need this opportunity, like Mason Cohn. And he showed us there. He's a battle-tested athlete.
There's a good look at Cohn, coming from Tufts, Jumbos, runners-up last year at D3. Salisbury took the title. See that captain, the C on his jersey, means a lot for a transfer to come in here to instantly generate the respect from his teammates that Cohn has been able to do.
And he's given an offense with a guy like Michael Leo. Gary Gait told me in the fall, Michael Leo is going to have a breakout sophomore year. It appears that way. We know about him as a shooter. He has some creativity in his bag, too. Look at this behind the back pass. He gets the defense to shift upfield. All the eyes, the bodies against Colgate. Thinking upfield, Finn Thompson, his classmate, cuts off the middle part of that field. Down the alley in the pipe. Michael Leo has been creative, and he's been electric with his shooting tonight.
Syracuse wins it again.
That's the first time we really had to see the wing play come into effect. And Jake Stevens, the transfer from Princeton, he's kind of like the college version of a Zach Currier, who plays for Andy Copeland in the Water Dogs in the PLL. You throw him anywhere on the field, he's a chameleon. That's what they brought him in to do, to help the face-offs.
Hiltz shoots a tough angle shot, ping-pongs in front. Racing the ball on the sideline. Won by Maryland. That's a big play right there.
Huge play by Riley Reese. Coming in on the man down. And he hustles closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds. Riley Reese is one of those young defenders. He's going to come along. His mother Kathy's the coach of the Maryland Terps women's lacrosse program, which beat Syracuse in overtime today. His father, Brian, was a legendary long stick midfielder for Dick Adele in the mid-90s. I played against him. He was not that much fun to play against, and he talked a lot of junk.
Final minute of this first half. Q said in a long drought, they've scored the last two to crawl back into it. Urksa. Now he's got his defender hung up. Syracuse shoots wide. Another race to the ball, won by Maryland. Fans here don't believe it.
These guys are selling out, Cotter.
Urksa loses footing.
Urksa's losing his footing on these quick change of directions. I think he needs a speed dodge.
Good look, Bolivar saved by Mark. And in the crease. Great pass, but Mark was up to the task.
That woke the dome up, Cotter.
Final seconds for the Orange. Gary Gait wants a timeout. He realized that Carter Rice didn't have anywhere to go with it. I think he wanted to get it earlier than 3 seconds.
Yeah, he wanted it at 5. We were talking about Logan McNaney in the first half, making ridiculous stops. That is insane. I mean, Molliver has the ball right in front of Will Mark, throws a couple of fakes. Mark actually bites on it, leaves his feet, and somehow makes that stick stop. That is clearly the save of the night for Will Mark. He's smiling, and he should be.
Just got a piece of that with the stick.
We're going to
Look at the players on the Tewaaraton watch list from this game. No surprise, Ajax Zapatello, Luke Weirman, Mark Spallina, Stevens. This is what I look for in 3 seconds. Owen Hiltz, the ball's kind of up that higher area by our right side of the restraining box, but that's where a natural lefty will be able to operate with his stick to the outside. Owen Hiltz is one of the best through passers in college lacrosse. He can throw a 30-yard pass on a dime. If I was Syracuse, I somehow would have Owen Hiltz with the ball, and on the backside, I have some cutters coming from that right pipe area if I was Syracuse, because you don't have time for a dodge. Look at that stop.
Great save. The officials are making sure the time is right when that timeout was called. Great save by Mark, denying Molliver. He's fired up 2 and goal. Now look at the timing, 10 seconds. Rice gets into a little bit of trouble here, and I'm sure Gate is screaming.
I think it is 5,
yep.
Maybe even 6. If he called the timeout when he first stepped in the box, which you have to, you can't call it before then.
Okay.
That was around 5 or 6 seconds.
That's what Gate was saying. See, right here, he's saying there's 5 seconds on the clock, so they'll check it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the officials are going to say the replay is inconclusive to them as to when the whistle was blown.
He's not happy. That changes everything.
Got a good sense of humor about it.
Because at 6 seconds, you could dodge.
Right.
At 3, you can't. So that's why I would give the ball to Owen Hiltz, and I would let him throw one of those 30, 40-yard zip passes from the left side to the bottom right, coming off a couple picks. You know, you can put a righty like a Joey Spallina and Finn Thompson playing a pick game with Owen Hiltz starting the ball. And Owen is starting with the ball. So look for him to throw a dart and some pick action between Spallina and Thompson. You want a righty finishing, not Muley. Muley 2 and White's a lefty. He'll pick. It's going to be English, Thompson, or Spallina.
Try to feed it in. It's picked off, and the horn's going to sound to end the half. Syracuse got on the board first. It was 2-2 in the blink of an eye, and then Maryland went on a little bit of run. Both teams settled in before Syracuse used a man-up situation to get a couple of goals late to make this a 1-goal game at the break. You're watching ACC Lacrosse on ESPN inside the Dome. Maryland and Syracuse getting set to start the second half. Great crowd today, as we would have expected with all the anticipation and electricity in this town coming into this game. Maryland, you know, they kind of took the air out of this crowd a little bit. It took a rally in the second quarter by Syracuse to get it back.
Look, the talk of the town and in lacrosse was the Syracuse offense after 3 weeks, right? Like nationally, Maryland plays some good defense. They've been playing good defense for the last, 40 years, since the Dick Adele era. For me, the Ajax Zapatello and Joey Spallina matchup was much anticipated, and it had everything we wanted. Ajax Zapatello has shown you why he's a preseason first-team All-American. Spallina only has the 1 assist, and I think Spallina is such a vital piece of this offense in terms of being the conductor, being the quarterback, and getting everyone involved. For Syracuse to win this game, Spallina will have to be heavily involved in the second half.
Interestingly enough, too, starting this second half, as you see, Ajax Zapatello is, you know, him and his defenders kind of held Syracuse scoreless for an almost 20-minute stretch. Well, right now, Maryland is at almost 18 minutes scoreless in this game.
Yeah, they're communicating at a really high level. But also, I think they're daring Syracuse to beat them with outside shots. They're kind of packing it in because they know the quick passing of Syracuse can cripple you. And they're taking that away by playing very constricted defense in terms of a team defense perspective.
There's the athleticism shown by Cohn. First, he wins the draw to himself, and he brings it all the way in deep into the offensive zone before running off. That has been a great battle. We anticipate that battle of two individuals to continue throughout the entire second half. Weirman and Cohn at the faceoff dot. Syracuse got two quick goals from Michael Leo to end that first half to close the gap to within one goal. Looking to even the score. Leo thought about taking another tough angle shot. Instead, he gets it behind him. Moulet. Here's Spallina.
Leo's confident with the 2 goals, and Maryland has a short stick on him.
Spallina can't get underneath Zappatello. Now the help comes. Gets it back to Leo. Leo to the middle of the field. Shoots high.
He's lucky that one went high because that was on cage. No way that was going past Logan McNaney.
Moulet looking to dodge. He has been kept under wraps. English shoots, bouncer. Stays wide.
Watch McNaney's body language. Even on the wide shots, he's on every shot.
Only 10 to shoot for Spallina. Has got to recognize it. Good look inside. Thompson, McNaney make the save. Thompson just shrugs his shoulder as he runs back. What do I got to do?
He's such a good player, and typically when you watch Finn Thompson over the last year and change, he never just shoots the ball. There's always some kind of deception in his shot. He forces the goalie to think one way by dipping the shoulder. There's the head fakes, there's the stick fakes. There was no type of deception or fake to get McNaney off his line.
Terps trying to end that drought. Now approaching 20 minutes. Spanos on the shorty. He inverts, as all of these Terp midfielders will do. Stutter step. Goes back to his right. Now to Oliver behind the cage. He's got his defender hung. Looking for a cutter. Finds one in front. Scores! Erksa.
Cotter, when you cut in that position, typically you want the stick on the outside shooting lefty. Erksa's a righty. He never puts it to the outside, keeps it inside, but look how quick the release is. And what he does a beautiful job of is he continues to go towards the goal when he catches that. If you're a right-hander and you fade away, you've lost your angle. Erksa knows if he's going to keep it in his strong hand, he has to stay as north-south as possible on that cut.
I like them following Cora's, too. He followed right on Cora's hip.
Syracuse bit for the first cut. He was the second.
Weirman, not afraid to shoot. Instead, he gets it to Coras on the far side, and Mark makes the save. Fourth save, just the fourth save of the game for Mark so far.
He's had to work for all four. This was a unit a year ago that got sliced and diced defensively. They are playing really sound lacrosse. I mean, they've held Maryland to 6 goals, 5 in the first half. They've done their job. The offense needs to step up.
Twister! That's the second outstanding goal we've seen on the night from Roa.
The timing of this twister is what makes it happen. He's out of angle, no shot. Can't put in his left hand because he's going to get checked. If he changes to his left, it's in front of his body, he gets checked. The last second twister, and the timing is perfection right here. That increases his angle as if he was to shoot left-handed. But he didn't have the time to make the switch, Cotter, so it's either backhand behind the back or it's twister. And tonight it's twister.
You can see the love he's getting from his Orange teammates. They appreciate the creativity. Syracuse back down a goal. Violation on the face-off dot. It's going to go against Weirman.
To amplify the two-handedness of Luke Roa, his first goal today was an outside rip with the left hand. That was a right-handed twister. You tell me what hand that dude is.
Yeah. It's been impressive. As has Leo. He's got a couple on the day. Full head of steam. Can't quite get the angle. Zap just shuts it down. Here's Spallina. English, the transfer from Princeton. Got it back to Finn Thompson. Swims, got his right hand free. McNaney saw it all the way.
No questionable shot will land on Logan McNaney tonight. He's in a 3-week zone, or maybe he's in a 2-year zone because he took last year off. MVP of championship weekend when the Terps won it all in 2022. He looks the same.
Yeah, Coach Tillman talked about how he just passed the 1-year anniversary of getting the injury early last year. His confidence is back.
And he rehabbed with Molliver, who's behind the cage right now, 4 in black. It's different for an offensive player when you have to cut so much, though.
Whittier had a brief moment where he was open. It was shut down. Here's Brennan. Working on Rice, the shorty. Back to his left. Nothing doing. That pass goes awry, and Mark covers up. It's 11 turnovers on the day for Maryland. Figueres picked off. Not a good look. Alviti, here he comes.
That's a horrible turnover.
Molliver. Oh, good luck! Armstrong comes finishing his Mark made a great save.
Mark bailed Figueres out. Figueres owns Mark dinner.
That was a hell of a pass, too. Through all kinds of traffic. That would have been a beautiful goal. Mark says, all for naught.
That save late in the second quarter when he robbed Molliver, he just looks different body language-wise. We have an incredible goalie battle tonight.
Great goalie battle, great face-off battle, too. 2 top 5 teams. This one promises to go all the way down to the wire. Spallina up top. Burt whistle. That pass, or that shot rather, was deflected.
And when you have a great goalie battle and a great face-off battle, 6 to 5 can be electric because they're closing runs and they're creating runs.
Roa. Back to his left, he shoots wide. That race was won by Stevens. McNaney's got to hustle back in net. Tills doesn't like seeing that with the knee. Told me that the other day. He's like, I don't know. The further he gets away from cage, the more nervous Coach Tillman gets. But he looks sharp tonight. Stevens. That's a tough angle shot. Sounded like that hit Zap. Spallina tracks it down. Spallina got room with the pick, and he scores. That pick finally freed 22 up.
We talk about deception. That's the equalizer on an incredible goalie. You come in and you shoot without a fake. You shoot without changing levels. You are toast. Spallina knows that. He has ice in his veins. The pick is set perfectly. There's no switch. It looked like Zappatello originally thought he could get through the pick. So the communication breakdown happens. The way that Zap came off that pick showed me that he wanted not to switch. He wanted to keep the matchup, to get through the pick. And Spallina knows you come around goal line extended, you take those extra steps. You make those extra fakes.
First time we've been even since 2-2 in the first quarter. Syracuse riding hard here. Look at Goulet giving chase to Zappatello. He's got to get it back to McNaney. Maryland's able to get it across the midfield line. Syracuse. Maltz. Big shot, just barely wide of the target.
Doesn't this 6-6 game feel like there's so much edge, so much tension?
Every shot on net is, earth-shattering. As Urksa has the defender hung up. Spanos took the hit, absorbed the contact, back up top. Here's Molliver. Urksa GLE is going to go behind the cage. Molliver up top. Pass!
Wow!
Oh my goodness, the save by Mark. Again, another great pass by Molliver, and it ends up being no goal because Mark has been sensational.
Check out the left side of your screen. That is the second ridiculous stop where Mark leaves his feet and stonewalls the Terps.
Preserving this 6-6 tie. Leo now, as you take a look at that save.
Yeah, that stop was, I was not going to allow you not to see that again.
It's so good. It's sort of like check and checkmate with he and McNaney. Now Leo's trying to get free. Finn Thompson up top. Spallina and Ajax again. Thompson setting the pit, but Ajax rolls over the top of it. Spallina got a shot off, and Thompson was almost there for the rebound. Now we're going to call. We're going to get a loose ball push.
That was incredible how he got that shot off. Zappatello was draped all over him with his offhand, one-handed, lets that go.
Loose ball push against Maryland, though, stays with Syracuse.
You're seeing a little more confidence in the attack play by Syracuse. The first 5 goals were all midfield goals. Spallina's first of the night was the first for the unit.
Behind the back pass to Finn. Closely defended. English on the run. Leo. Didn't have much of an angle. Back behind the cage to Spallina.
Comes a pick.
Jackson's able to get around it behind the back. That is such a fast shot.
In the first quarter, I thought he should have done that. When Zappatello and Spallina were engaged on goal line, he shot it right-handed and lost his angle. That behind the back shot it's too fast. It's too hard to track for him not to do that when he gets above GLE.
It's amazing you can get that kind of pace on that shot. Now he lowers his shoulder. Slide comes out, leaves English open up top. Makes one man miss, makes another man miss, and scores! That's the goal of the day so far.
This is amazing. Who needs a left hand when you're Sammy English? They talked about the 2 Princeton transfer middies. We're going to change the complexity of this team. The Dome is alive. It's rocking. Welcome to the Dome, Sammy English. If you wear 22 at Syracuse or 1 at Maryland, you're the guy. We've just been fortunate tonight that it's best on best. And in the first half, Ajax Zappatello was playing the body beautifully on Joey Spallina. But Spallina's a bit of a junkyard dog. He'll find ways to get involved in the game. And it was the pick game in the third quarter that allowed him to get that unassisted goal. The first goal from the attack unit for Cuse. And we have a dandy in store.
For the faceoff.
Maryland again on a scoring drought, this time 7 minutes, and it's the 'Cuse on a run. 3 straight goals to take the lead. Their first time leading the game since it was 2-1 in the first quarter. Maryland's going to call a timeout.
That's a really good timeout. That is a really good timeout. You have a pole down there being harassed by Billy Dwan III.
You can hear the pads popping from up here.
You know, you want to keep that one in your pocket for late. But this is a pivotal time in the game. It's the first time Cuse has taken a lead since the first quarter.
First couple of minutes of the game.
And you feel like momentum might be shifting. That is why Tillman just understands time and situation of a game. And that's why he's won 2 national titles. And his team, the last decade, has been unmatched from a winning perspective.
You know, it's interesting. We were on the Quintessential podcast with Quint earlier this week and just kind of talking about Maryland. I thought Quint made a good point. Last year's team, they'll never admit to this, and maybe it isn't the case, but Q kind of felt like maybe they had the hangover from 22. 22 is one of the great teams in the history of college lacrosse, and last year's team maybe had to live up to being the encore from that 22 team, and they never could quite get into sync. You know, they got hammered by Michigan in the Big Ten championship game, lost in the first round of Cornell in the NCAAs. I just feel like this team is kind of flying under the radar. Everyone's talking about Penn State at the start of the year. Michigan now finally a team to deal with, and yet here they are.
Yeah, Tillman's still here. Look, 2022 was the perfect storm. They had so many pieces to the puzzle back from 2021 when they lost that heartbreaker to Virginia in the national championship. That season started that day. Luke Weirman becomes a first-team All-American face-off specialist. He gives that offense that puts up video game numbers, led by Logan Wisnauskas, who eclipsed the 100-point mark in 2022, and he wins the Tewaaraton. The ball moves so quickly in that offense, you'd have whiplash watching them. So last year's team, they lost some guys, and they probably tried to live up and play perfect. And perfect was for 2022, not 2023. So now this team, you feel like they have house money. Who's talking about them?
Right, yeah. And they even coming into this game, you know, the talk is Syracuse back, Syracuse this, Syracuse that.
The talk is this: Duke, Notre Dame, and Virginia. Everyone thinks they're the 3 best teams, and they might be right. And Syracuse is back. That's kind of what we've been talking about in February. How about Maryland?
How about them now trailing by a goal? Final moments of this third quarter. It has been a game of runs. Spanos, no angle. Here comes the slide, and it's effective. Still plenty of time to operate offensively if you're the Terps. Urksa draws a lot of attention. Syracuse up top. Maltz gets pushed down. That'll be a flag. And physical play just as the whistle sounds.
Yeah, it's chippy.
Folks here in the Dome not in agreement with that call. Flag came out immediately.
Cal's on white 34, pushes with possession, 30 seconds, reset it to 6-2.
So the timeout was to give your offense an opportunity to get into the flow. And then it results in a push by Levine with possession for 30. Watch Maltz, he'll start at the top, but he'll end inside. Kelly's inside will get to the left shooting spot. 45 in black.
Here he is. Got 45 on this side and 55 on the other, Murphy. There's Murph. Molliver. Molliver's going to give chase, and he's going to get there just before the ball gets to midfield. Full strength. Still, Maryland's able to get a shot off and mark is there to deny Kelly.
So they get a fresh 60.
Erxus got the shorty on him. Gets by him, but has no angle. But a nice pass to far side and a goal. Jack Corus gets the better of Will Mark.
I talked about the pros and cons of having an entire man-down defense fresh. 5 new faces. It cost them there. Corus is so smart, and he backdoors Jordan Beck, who's ball watching. So Jordan Beck's in for a guy like Billy Dwan III, who when you put him in a 6-on-6 set, because that's what you fear when you have 5 fresh guys. When the penalty's over, it's not so much the penalty, Cotter. It's after the penalty when you go 6-on-6. Your best defenders aren't necessarily out there.
Weirman gives chase. Alexo did a nice job to prevent him from initially picking up the ground ball, but he's able to scoop it. 7-7.
You know who gets the assist on that goal? John Tillman for the timeout. They've possessed it since that timeout. He knew his offense needed touches, needed to catch their breath. The momentum was shifting.
Stovall loses it initially, but picks it back up. First time we've seen 44 tonight, I think, in black. Back to Stovall. Whittier. Back to his left, now up top. Send it on the other way, Erxa. Mark makes the save.
The defense is tired. If you're Syracuse, you need to possess the ball. You need to spin it around. You've been successful creating offense from the midfield. Spallina's starting to come to the party.
Stevens, Rowan, Birtwistle in the midfield right now, Cart.
The question mark for both teams, would the short stick defensive midfielders hold up?
Spallina. Over to Stevens. Back to his right, but didn't have a shot. Now here's Spallina. Good look, fast, scores. That was ping pong passing. And Birtwistle buried it.
The suddenness of Spallina as a passer. That little shift in Ajax not getting on his hands allows him to be patient. If you're Ajax, you have to engage there. You've got to get on Spallina's hands. If you don't get on his hands, he will feast. He's too good at surveying where his offensive players are and where they will be.
Now we're going back and forth. Birtwistle gets his first goal after missing the opener with an injury. And we're back to Weirman and Cone.
Weirman jumped.
I believe that's 2 this half, too, Bart.
That's critical. Because when you have 2, you're worried about getting the penalty, and then you're not as quick as you want to be.
Against this team in their man-up unit, which is deadly.
It's twofold, though. It's going man down, but it also, in the back of your mind, you don't want to be overly aggressive because it's a penalty every time you jump.
Right,
so he's going to be slow to go.
Yeah, every 3 face-off violations in a half, and then every subsequent violation is a 30-second penalty.
That is a critical piece to this fourth quarter. Weirman with 2 violations.
Leo. Shoots that one high. .47 left in the third quarter, 39 to shoot. Couldn't get it to English. Chases it down. Still 25 to shoot. Back to Spallina.
So good with the body, Zappatello. Look at his feet, too. Never overplays.
Leo shoots. McNaney. Follow-up goes over the top. Good hustle by Moulet to keep possession with Syracuse. 8 seconds. Hiltz shoots. Wow, I can't believe he even got that shot off. Good on him to track down the ground ball and get one off.
Buckle up, big boy.
Here we go. Stars are heating up. Joey Spallina, 1 move, 2 move, and the goal. Great pass by Urksa, and the cut and score by Chorus. Syracuse up by a goal, heading to the 4th. Syracuse goalie Will Mark, the captain, Kark. He was sensational in the 3rd quarter, made 6 saves in that 3rd quarter alone.
The 1st quarter, the Terps kind of got to him a little bit, but his play in the last 2 quarters has been spectacular, making ridiculous stop after ridiculous stop, leaving his feet, doing everything he possibly can to elevate the play of his defense. Born and raised in Northern California, bet on himself, went to a couple high schools where he wasn't even the starting goalie, went to LIU and then transferred here. He's one of the best in the business.
Battle to face-off dot continues. Won that time by Maryland to start this 4th quarter. Couldn't ask for anything more here, Kark. 1-goal game heading to the 4th in the Dome. Play we just showed you from Will Mark, limiting the Syracuse team. Just a couple of goals in that 3rd quarter, or this Maryland team rather, just a couple of goals in that 3rd. Urksa trying to work on the short. He has a little bit of space. Too high though, and the race for the ball won by Maryland. Closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds, gets possession.
If I'm Urksa, I am taking my defender in as much space as possible and speed dodging. He is so fast, 1 in black.
Syracuse inverted, 38 in black. Scores! And it's Urksa.
That is a breakdown by the Syracuse defense. When the ball went out of bounds, when Urksa first shot and missed, they needed to switch and find that matchup with Figueres on Urksa. They never switched back. Urksa has a short stick on him and a freshman in Jake Spallina, who's got the upside, but he shouldn't be defending Maryland's top option, who is an attacker. That is a breakdown in communication, because you had an opportunity to switch Figueres, 11 in white, back to Urksa, and you didn't.
Hat trick for Urksa on the night. We are once again knotted up at 8. Cone wins it. And again, look at the athleticism from Cone keeping possession.
He's put everyone on alert. The question was, could he make the jump? The answer is what?
Well, he's made it, and it's pretty clear today. First 3 games, maybe you had a little bit of wonderment about the competition. Not so much today.
This is a first-team All-American in 2022. Maryland's all-time leader in face-off wins. All-time. And Mason Cone has won the big face-offs in this game.
Season high 5 points for Urksa. Burke whistle. Shoots. May have hit the outside of the cage. Stays with Syracuse. Hiltz will put it in play.
Off a shot. I thought Hiltz was really smart to box out, but not go too far behind the end line.
Roa scores on the run. He's showing us the full repertoire tonight.
Lefty step down, righty twister, lefty on the run. A master class in terms of shooting versatility. The two-handed gem from St. John's in Maryland. What an absolute hammer. And the release was nasty. Saw that stutter step too, just allowed him to free up his hands.
Second career hat trick for Roa. Neither of these teams is allowing this game to get beyond a one-goal game. Beautiful win by Weirman. And the action to get the ball quickly into the offensive end. Weirman can't shoot. He opts to pass off and sub off. Ursa feels it, shoots, scores!
He's too fast, Cotter. I've been saying it all night. The speed kills. Figueres, who's defending him, was out with an ACL injury his true freshman season. He's back, and he's their #1 cover defender. You see the first step and then the blazing speed to get above goal line extended. And then the jumper. Honestly, I think if you're Syracuse, you might want to deny him the ball at X. Make it really hard for him to get the ball. That's his 6th point, but I just don't think anyone on this field can defend him.
That time Cohn with the violation. So Weirman's won a couple. All part of this back and forth game we've got here in the 4th quarter. Now once again even up. Whittier down the alley.
He wants his left, 13 in black. He'll roll back to his left hand.
Molliver gets it up top to Murphy. Kelly on the far side, working on the shorty. Remember, Kelly's a former attacker. Now we've got a whistle.
Looks like an injury.
Yeah, an injury to a Syracuse player.
Nick Kakemo. This is Kakemo's first start of the season. Caden Cole, who's in now, 33 in white, started the first 3 games. So he's got the experience. He was a starter a season ago. You have some depth there if you're Syracuse.
Yeah, 2-time team captain as well, Card. So it's not a drop. Ursa, that's a beautiful job by Figueres. And Rice comes out of there with it. And he can move. Hiltz to the middle of the field. Slams on the brakes.
Figueres answered the bell because Ursa relentlessly was going after him. And Figueres said, I had enough. Because part of me was thinking you deny it X if you're Syracuse, or you drop Sam Alexo, who's probably your best athlete defensively from long stick, maybe to close. Figueres said, not yet.
Thompson shoots high. Finn's frustrated a little bit at his shooting today.
It's 2 for 13 coming in to tonight, and he's been automatic in his career. So as a shooter, you start thinking too much.
Leo scores! Gary Gate told us earlier this year, watch out for Leo. And Gate, he throws around compliments like he throws around manhole covers, right? He said Leo is going to have a big year, and he's having a huge game today.
His classmate who came in as the #1 rated recruit defensively, Riley Figueres, had a matchup with his hands full. He won that version. And Michael Leo and Luke Roa, 2 sophomore midfielders, when the close defense of Maryland's been so stingy, they both have hat tricks. So crafty, Leo, and he is confident when he has the rock. You saw him throwing BTBs and going underneath his defender. celebrations after he scores. He wants the rock. The moment isn't too big.
Cone wins another big draw. They're all big in this game, and especially now in the fourth.
And remember, you have the 2 violations from Weirman that carry over. So how quick is he to time a whistle? Because if he doesn't time it correctly, this team goes extra man on a power play.
Roa shoots, and he scores!
From our vantage point, I'm watching Luke Roa go down the alley. I'm thinking he goes low and away on a lefty goalie to that far pipe. Logan doesn't know how that squeaks by. You're not on the hands of a shooter like that. You have to engage. We saw too many opportunities for these midfielders to have their hands free and rip. And I'll say it again, the versatility of Luke Roa. 2 lefty goals, 2 righty goals. Lefty on the run, righty on the run, righty twister.
And he's having the game of his life tonight. Cone wins it initially, but loses his footing. Chorus scores! What a turn of events! Chorus picks up the ground ball from the wing and takes it all the way to the house.
It didn't look like Mark stepped to the ball here. Chorus is on the wing. They don't pick him up. There was no pop or step from Mark. Maybe he thought he was going high there. Typically, you see Will Mark will explode with that front foot. Stepping to the ball, he's flat-footed on that shot. Chorus squeaks it by him.
How about this? Typically you see an LSM and usually a short stick D midi on the wings on a face-off. They've got Chorus on the wings of a face-off, an offensive guy.
Because these midfielders are kind of throwbacks. Chorus, Stevens for Syracuse, English for Syracuse. They're out of the old school mode. Throw them on a wing. Let them play defense. Let them play offense. And those guys are going to project so well at the next level in the PLL because they can do a little bit of everything.
3 goals combined in 36 seconds. Leo. Moulet. Trying a 2-man game with Finn Thompson. Now Thompson's got it. Gets it to Spallina. Hiltz. Back to Spallina. Had a step, now rolls back, shoots. McNaney's there to make the 6. Spallina got it back. Couldn't get anything on that second shot after the rebound.
Spallina somehow on that possession did not have Ajax Zapatello on him.
Right, it was Canfield who was checking him. Right?
Yeah, Zapatello somehow got switched off Spallina and was in the interior of the defense. So Spallina's eyes lit up. He was going to the rack.
McNaney denied him, and now Maryland with possession down a goal. Syracuse sends it over to Spanos. Rice is checking him. Molliver trying to use a Spanos pick. Gets it to Urza. Gets pushed. Now the flag comes out.
Syracuse doesn't like this call.
I think it's a legitimate call, though. If you push a guy in the back and he
From here, it looks like it. He's going to do 30 seconds.
Figueres doesn't like it. He's pleading his case. Kakema was there as well.
White 11 pushes for possession. 30-second technical.
Let's take a look at this. I mean, to me, if you push a guy in the back and he loses his footing, you have to make the
back or the front side area. That's from the back. That's from the back. I got you.
Yeah, that's how
no-brainer.
You can't not make that
It's
call.
a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. We talk a lot about Syracuse's offense and their man up. This is a dangerous unit because you have a lefty shooter in Kelly, 45 in black, the righty shooter in Murphy, 55. Those guys will stretch a defense, and then Maltz is inside, so it's pick your poison between those three.
That's Kelly and Urksa. Near side to Murph. Inside, beautiful movement, and Maltz buries it. What did you just tell us might happen? Maltz inside?
Balanced extra man units have an outside threat, and they have someone who can can it and deliver in the paint. For the Terps, it's the fifth-year senior Daniel Maltz, tying it at 11.
Maryland had a 3-goal lead in the first half. Syracuse a 2-goal advantage in the second, but we're all nodded, Kark, because of great individual play. Luke Roa and then Urksa has kept Maryland in it, oftentimes giving them the lead here in the second half. How about the game by Leo?
Leo's been incredible. Roa, Urksa, Leo, all sophomores. Roa gets down the alley. There's no engagement, no contact in his hands. Too easy. And then Chorus, to your point, they keep him on a wing for instant offense. And then the master of the paint, Danny Maltz.
Roa and Leo, two midfielders, have carried the offense for Syracuse. There you see Chorus, and a big face-off here, which is going to be won by Weirman. Nearly even on the face-off dot today, too. We hope we'd see that, and we have.
This game's had everything we thought it would. It's the game of the month. Had the storylines of the team that has 11 national titles and the best player in the world back as their coach. Are they back? Well, they have to play the standard in the sport tonight. John Tillman and the Maryland Terps, over the last decade, no team has won like them.
Urksa got caught. Oh, and then a hit late. Well, Syracuse is lucky they didn't get a call after the whistle there. It's going to be a procedure call against Maryland, so possession to Cuse.
Yeah, it looked like Mark maybe was in the crease. And there was some interference there by Maryland.
6.5 to go, all tied up. Burtwhistle and Roa making their way onto the field.
And you have a short stick on Roa, who has flexibility to go left or right.
He goes right and gets free a bit, but the slide comes to help out. Now he wants to get it to Spallina. Instead goes on the far side to Moulet.
And because of that help, Moulet has a short stick on him. They helped the Roa matchup. There was a switch.
He wants to dodge it. He's coming near side. Now back to his right. Pass in front. Hiltz couldn't corral it. What an effort by Roa to keep possession for Syracuse. Check that. That was Burtwhistle on the far side.
Not a fresh 60, though.
Yeah, they got 20 to shoot. Roa again. Short stick Sharkey on him. Burtwhistle back to Roa. 3 to shoot. Got to get it done. Can't get it through McNaney.
That was dangerous shooting that late. You might have been better off rolling it out and getting your personnel on. They kind of got lucky there that McNaney didn't make that stop and have a short stick defensive midfielder flying out of the gate to create some offense.
Instead, Maryland will settle in 6v6. Looking right, way out to check Chorus. Spanos will invert and look to attack on the shorty. Urksa. Spanos can't get free. Slide comes. Syracuse shoots off the pipe. Ooh. A lot of heat on that shot.
Yeah, that hit the pipe. That's a fresh 60. It's a reset. We're talking about two-handed players. 38 in black. Syracuse is one of them.
Oliver, checked by Kakemo. Good to see him back in the game. 28 in white. After he hobbled off moments ago, Spanos defender falls down. He gets a little bit of an inch, and he makes the most of it. Clark, what quick thinking. Defender fell down. He immediately went to the rack.
Spanos is so comfortable in that spot. Nate Levine, 34 in white. A reserve long stick midi and close defender a year ago. Now is a short stick because of the depth issues. Spanos is a former high school attackman who's so comfortable back at X. I watched this kid in high school. His eyes are always up. He understands space back there. And to your point, once he got Levine on that stutter, the low angle shot with the left hand, Spanos delivers.
Maryland back on top. You see, it's the first time they've led in some time, since about the midpoint of the third quarter.
Gate has 2 timeouts. Tillman 1. Can't call it in the middle of the field there. Have to be in your box.
Juan with a nice ground ball, but then he throws it away. Zap throws it away.
Syracuse got lucky there, Cotter.
Now they look to move quickly. Hiltz wanted to, but the official slowed him down.
You feel the tension in the dome.
Heightened at 3.5 to go. Leo out of the box. Full head of steam on the far side. Tries to get it inside and tops it over the shoulder. Couldn't get anything on the shot. Defended well in the crease.
I don't know if that was a shot or he's trying to pass it to Spallina at X.
Canfield, nice catch. Nice job getting it over to Brennan. Good work in the middle of the field. Now Whittier.
He wants his left hand here.
Working on Rice, the veteran. Defenders fall down, he shoots it high. Maryland can take it under 2 minutes to play and we'll get a timeout. The dead ball, Gary Gate wants to talk things over. Here's Will Mark, who's had a heck of a game, and especially in the second half, in goal for Syracuse.
That was a smart timeout by Gary Gate. You have the 2. You want your defense rested. And you have to have your matchups here. Get your top 6 here. I would not be surprised if you see Jake Stevens or Sammy English. Both are offensive midfielders as we know them, but they played two-way at Princeton. You don't have the depth at short stick D-midi. That is probably your Achilles heel at this stage of the season. You have young guys who are going to be really good, but don't have the experience. I'd be really surprised if you don't see Stevens or English in this spot. Not just to play defense, Cotter, but if you get the ball, you have really elite sticks on the field because those guys will just stay or create transition. So I'd be shocked if you don't see 14 in white or 15 in white take a defensive shift here.
You saw Syracuse's upcoming schedule. Neither one of these two teams ducking anybody. Their schedules are brutal going forward. Look what Maryland's got. Princeton at Notre Dame and Virginia before they start Big Ten play.
I looked at Maryland's schedule. Over the last 2 years, every single team on their schedule has made the NCAA tournament. I mean, it is incredible the level of difficulty. And a team like this, coached by John Tillman, they will be playing their best ball and they will be battle tested as anyone. come May.
Nobody will be more battle-tested than these two teams coming out of this game in the third week of February. This is an early season matchup that is testing and teaching both these coaches a lot about their players and their teams.
See, I'm surprised you don't see Stevens or English here. Because like I said, it's not just the stop. It's the ability to clear the ball and potentially trap one of the offensive players from Maryland if you make the stop when you have Stevens or English going on the other end.
39 to shoot coming out of the timeout. Maryland up a goal with possession. They'll get it in Erks' stick up top.
They're in a zone here.
Yeah, they'll spin it over to Chorus.
That's smart as well with the shot clock. It'll take Maryland time to figure it out.
Brennan thought about letting it loose. Shot clock down to 10. Tried to skip it over to Murphy. Gets deflected. He'll stay with Maryland, but just 5 to shoot.
First-year defensive coordinator John Orderna with a little bit of a chess match. Going in zone, it took Maryland time to figure it out. There was only a little under 30 seconds left on the shot clock. They didn't figure it out. They didn't recalibrate and get into their zone offense in time.
And Maryland forced to send the ball into the corner and take the shot clock violation. Now here comes Cuse. Under 2 to play. Roa. Stevens. Over to Hiltz. Hiltz angling to the goal. He's going to roll back. Defended well as Canfield's all over. Moulet scores!
Wow! The perseverance of Owen Hiltz. He's getting mugged here on this matchup. The physicality, he kept his balance. And Christian Moulet, who is a left-handed player, cutting with his offhand and scores an incredible goal on the crease. Gate feels it, the dome feels it. And on a quiet night for the attack unit, Moulet comes up with a monster of a goal.
This minute and 5 is going to be wild.
You got the 2 violations on Weirman. Wow, and it was Cone who jumped.
It looked like the official might have pointed the other way first and said, no, it's against Cone. So possession to Maryland, and that's 2 for Cone, 2 now. 1 timeout on the board for each team. Chorus working on Rice. And now Tillman will use that timeout. Shot clock is off. 40 seconds for Maryland to find that potential game winner.
Guess what Tillman's going to draw up now? What do you think he's going to expect? Zone.
You think he's going to expect that?
He's going to expect zone. He's going to have his team prepared to act quickly if defensive coordinator John Orderna throws a zone again. Because last time they were too slow to react.
What are you going to do? What does he draw up then to defeat that zone, you think?
You have to have some shooters. The one player who hasn't been a regular in the offensive set is 45 in black, Daniel Kelly. He's your best time and room lefty shooter. I wouldn't be shocked if he's on the field because Tillman is going to hedge probably a little bit that there might be zone. So if there's zone, you need a zone buster on both sides. You have Owen Murphy with the right hand, Daniel Kelly with the left. But Orderna, with the chess match, is probably thinking, maybe Tillman and Mike Phipps, the offensive coordinator, are going to think zone offense, so let's see what they do.
Or start out in zone and jump out of it immediately.
You prepare for moments like this. Defensively, you have to have packages where you show one thing and you can quickly react out of another. Because that forces the offense to waste time and to all get on the same page.
Goalies have both been fantastic today. Face-offs, Maryland owns it 15-13. I mean, almost 50-50.
Heavyweight match, man.
Here we are, tied at 12, 40 seconds to go. The 4th and 5th ranked teams in the country, both undefeated coming in.
And if they go man, there's one player that has to touch the ball. It's 10 in black, Braden Urksa. Third man,
yep.
Third man. Urksa has to touch the ball here. He's too fast. He's owned matchups.
Syracuse will get it going. 30 seconds.
Game clock is shorter than the shot clock, so that's irrelevant.
Rice is on Syracuse, way out. Syracuse wanted to use a chorus pick, didn't get it. Here comes Urksa. Trying to run by Figueres, can't do that. Spanos, inside to Oliver, just can't get it to go. 2 seconds, that's gonna do it. Expect anything else, overtime from the Dome.
If we ever deserved bonus lacrosse, it's right now.
Who's not enjoying this? We're gonna catch our breath. If you gotta go make a sandwich, get a snack, get a cold beverage from the refrigerator, do it now, because we have got overtime lacrosse from the Dome coming up. Maryland 12, Syracuse 12 as we head to overtime here inside JMA Wireless Dome. Chris Cotter, Paul Carcaterra with you. It has lived up to all the hype. Man, we had some action in that second half, especially the 4th quarter. Off the face-off, Jack Corus is there for a reason. Instant offense, picking up the ground ball and going the distance.
The passing by Maryland, the anticipation, the stutter of Eric Spanos. Cotter, this game has had it all. When it looked like Owen Hiltz was dead to rights, he found a way to find grad transfer Christian Muley. I need an IV, man.
You don't have time. We got to face this thing off right now. By the way, we've talked a lot about, as you see, the overtime rules about face-offs and how both of these face-off men have 2 violations. They're clean now into the overtime period, so that's not an issue.
This game is 12-12. It easily could be 17-17. And I say this because the face-off battle has been so equal. The goaltending, stealing potential goals by both netminders, Logan McNaney, Will Mark. This game has had everything you would want. People sometimes say it's too early to have lacrosse in February. For all you haters, it's not. Watch this game.
Yeah, you can't tell those here at the Dome that it's too early. They're all on their feet. Look at them, Paul. Every single one of them, and showing their appreciation with the standing ovation as these two teams took the field for overtime.
Look below us. No one is sitting down.
Next goal wins it. Cone and Weirman, they've been battling all night long, and it continues into the overtime. Weirman wins it to himself. He can shoot, instead he passes it off, and boy, I thought that might have been the opportunity for Oliver. Both teams sub out. Maryland with the first possession, 6-on-6 here in the overtime.
The all-time leader in face-off wins for the University of Maryland, Luke Weirman. No one has won more. No one's been in more bigger spots than him.
Syracuse to his left. Urksa on Figueres. Figueres loses his footing.
He's got a short stick. He's sticking this matchup. You have to support if you're Syracuse.
Here comes Dwan. And now Moliver. So Dwan is recovered to check Urksa. Goes over the pick. Chorus. Now he's on the shorty. Up top, Murphy shoots. Wide, and the target stays with Maryland.
That boy can sling it.
Man, 20 seconds to shoot. Everybody on the edge of their seats. Clark's gonna maul me when the game winner goes in, I promise you. That was high, no call. Might have been his teammates. Syracuse loses it. Dwan picks it out of the air. Now he gets leveled. Kakemo comes out of there with it.
What a ground ball by Billy Dwan III. He got hammered some way. He was able to hold it and goose it.
Now English comes on the field to clear it. Crowd amps it up just a little bit, just a notch higher.
There hasn't been a timeout yet. Both coaches letting this game be decided by the players. Gates in the back pocket of one of the refs if he needs to call a timeout if there's trouble.
Leo down the alley, shoots. And it's a shot. Stays with Spallina.
And a fresh 60.
Fresh 60. Over to English. Roa gonna give him the pick. Shoots! Just wide on the bouncer.
It looked like there was a little hesitation by Sammy English, 15 and white. He had the look. He had the separation.
Spallina on Ajax. Ajax comes around the pick. Again, back to English up top. Hiltz. Check it, that's Leo. Leo shoots! Wide, man, every shot. So much tension on it. 25 to shoot now. Lulay backs it up. We'll get one of those timeouts right now. And it'll be Gary Gate with 25 to shoot. Wants to talk things over.
What's Pat March going to dial up? Pat March, the offensive coordinator last year. Syracuse, with so many freshmen, were third in the nation in efficiency. Pat March is masterful in these spots. Understands his personnel, the matchups, and the spacing.
There you see March in the orange hat, former Vermont head coach.
And as much as you'd want Joey Spallina involved in dictating this final play, the matchups are in your midfield. Your midfield has made the plays. Spallina's been blanketed by Ajax Zapatello. He's had some highs in that matchup, but Zapatello's been so sturdy in terms of his physicality and playing on goal line extended. I'd be really surprised if he doesn't attack the short stick D-middies, and this offense is generated from the midfield.
If you're newer to the game, you can only have 4 long poles on the field at any one time. That means 2 players have to be defended by short stick D-middies. Those are the matchups you want if you're an offensive coordinator, figuring out how to get those favorable matchups.
And Syracuse's offensive middies all can go to the rack. It's not like one is an off-ball guy that just can shoot from the outside. Michael Leo can go to the rack.
Roa's been sensational tonight.
Stevens. English just showed you. So you have so many options if you're Pat March. I don't expect Jesse Bernhardt to go zone. He hasn't shown zone all night.
Leo, Roa, and English will be the midfielders coming out for Syracuse.
Yeah, they're in man. And Leo's going to start with the ball, and he has a shorty on him. And he's got sky-high confidence.
Nick Red will check him.
He might not give this ball up.
Gives it to Hiltz. Now back to Leo.
Watch Hiltz on the pick game here.
Leo dives, scores the game winner! The officials will be talking it over. No, they'll wave it off. They're waving it off. They'll wave it off for in the crease. There's a helmet on the field too. Chaos, if you will. Maryland wants to know why the whistle was blown. You see Jesse Bernhardt and Tillman.
Let's let him talk here.
The officials are going to
take a look at that.
They're going to review it, obviously.
And they see what we see. And they see
All right, here we go.
what you will see at home.
Back to the goal.
This is what's being reviewed.
Does he step in the crease prior? No. Does he land in the goal mouth? The answer is yes, but is he pushed in the goal mouth? There's a lot to chew on here. You can land in the goal mouth as a result of defensive pressure.
And keep in mind, it was waved off on the field, so it has to be enough to make them overturn it.
He does not step in the crease prior to the ball crossing
That's clear.
the goal plate. That is clear. He is in the goal mouth, but is he pushed in the goal mouth?
The officials got together right away on it, and to their credit, they did make a pretty quick call on it. You got to admit this. Gary Gates loving this. This is so much fun for him to be a part of this right now in the Dome. Of course, he wants this call to go his way and win the game. Take one last look. Was he pushed? I don't think he was pushed.
He was not pushed.
Okay, he definitely landed in the goal mouth.
Yeah.
Right.
You cannot land in the goal mouth unless it's from
circle.
defensive pressure. The half circle within the crease. The only time you can land there is from defensive pressure. Pushed into the goal mouth.
After review, no goal. We're going to set the clock at 1:13 and 80 seconds.
The crowd here, obviously, very pro Syracuse. Can't believe it. They're letting the officials know. I just think it's the right call.
It's the rule.
I think they feel like Leah was pushed into the goal mouth. I didn't see it.
I don't think there was enough pressure to call that a push.
Clear enough to overturn that call.
It's an incredible effort.
If he avoids the goal mouth, the game's over. But he landed in the goal mouth. It's there. It's been there for the last few seasons to protect goalies. And the call goes against Syracuse. Now, what do you do? Disappointment, but you got to fight back and play on the defensive end. A minute left to go in the OT. Shot, score, the game winner! D-Mitty George Stamos, of all things. I mean, of all players, who could it possibly be for the game winner for Testudo? And it's George Stamos.
I'm shocked Stamos is on the field and he didn't come off through the box. But there was a breakdown. You said they got to play. There's nothing else you can do other than get in the hole, match up. Syracuse looks a little discombobulated after the call. They don't have the personnel in the hole. You need to play defense from inside out. Those defenders were trailing Stamos. Corning boy from upstate New York comes to the Dome. And the hero is an unlikely Stamos.
The redshirt freshman from Alexandria, Virginia.
Connor, I think Cuse was thinking too much of what just happened rather than what needs to happen.